Hello everybody, wish you are doing great. Divisions run deep over the dam on the Nile. Egypt, Sudan and Ethiopia can't agree on how or when to fill this dam. Why is it so hard to settle down the dispute on the Nile dam? Could the spat over water lead to a war? For more details, please stay with me and don't go away. Welcome. Ethiopia says we are heading to fill the dam next month with or without an agreement. Egypt says no one can compromise Egypt's water. It is a matter of life and death. Where does this leave us? Actually, the dam for Ethiopia is a physical manifestation of a country rise. Ethiopians are financially and emotionally linked to it. Besides, the dam is a rare unifying cause of a country defined as ethnic violence and faction politics. For Egypt, this dam is viewed as existential threat. Ethiopia will have the ability of control how much water gets to Egypt, and it could upend the way of life in Egypt. The flow rate of water to Egypt will leave the farmer unable to irrigate their land and will cause a food crisis. Any 2% of drop water could affect 1 million people in Egypt. A foreign power have such immense amount of control of water gets to Egypt. If they did not get what they want from Egypt, simply they will shut off the valve. Simply they will turn off the tap, and this is what Egypt will never ever allow it to happen. For Ethiopia, the dam will be able to generate 6,000 megawatts of electricity per year, and this enough to provide power to the entire nation and still have excess of supply to sell abroad, which make Ethiopia an energy and power exporter for the neighboring countries. Egypt, the reservoir behind the dam, will be able to hold more water than the entire Blue Nile itself, which Ethiopia has announced that its share in the Blue Nile. And that will take us to the sharing issue. And this is a big story, because the fair, equitable sharing that Ethiopia is asking for. The world's longest river has 280 million people living along with its bank in Nile Basin. It runs through 11 countries. But how the river flows? The river Nile has two main tributaries. The first tributary comes from the Lake of Victoria in Uganda, and it contributes 15% of Nile River water, and it's called White Nile. One tributary comes from the Lake Tana in Ethiopia and contributes 85% of the Nile River water and called the Blue Nile. Egypt depends on the Nile River over than 97% of its needs of fresh water, which is estimated with 55.5 billion cubic meter of water yearly. And Egypt hasn't got any other water resources, while Ethiopia receives 950 billion cubic meters of rainfall in Ethiopia yearly, besides the capacity of Tana Lake, which is 50 billion cubic meter. So the total water resources of Ethiopia estimated with 1,000 billion cubic meter, while Egypt have only 55.5 billion cubic meter of water yearly. And yet Ethiopia insists to have a fair, equitable share of the Blue Nile, and Ethiopia insists to cut water supply go to Egypt through the Blue Nile, which clearly proves that the intention of building the dam wasn't for the energy. The intention was The intention is to keep water from Egypt and use the file of water as a pressure card over Egypt. That's very clear because the target required of electricity is 6,000 megawatt electricity per year, and this amount of electricity could have been generated with only 14 billion cubic meter of water. But Ethiopia insists to have the dam and the reservoir behind it with the capacity of 74 billion cubic meter. So it aims to keep and retain the water from Egypt. In order to use the water as a pressure card over Egypt, this is also shown clearly in the continuous rejecting of Ethiopia to reach a final comprehensive deal, binding and legally agreement between the three countries, which tell us about the real intention of building this dam for Ethiopia. One, to sell the water for neighboring country. Ethiopia insists to deal with the water as any other natural resources, like oil, like gas, like gold, like diamond. Ethiopia says the Arab countries have oil and they sell it. So why don't I make utilization of my resources of water? And this was clearly expressed by the foreign minister spokesman, the ambassador Dina Mufti, during a contact with Al Jazeera Mubashir channel via internet call, and he says that we plan to sell the electricity and we plan to sell the water. The second aim Ethiopia seeking from pressuring Egypt via water card is to serve Israel demands from Egypt. Israel in 1979 asked Egypt to let the Nile River water flow to Tel Aviv, but Egypt said no. Second demand Israel asking Egypt is to move the Palestinians from Gaza and reallocate them in Sinai to empty Gaza, but Egypt also said no. Egypt is very well aware of the intentions of political purpose of Ethiopia in using the file of water as a pressure card in order to get what all they ask from Egypt. That's why Egypt is preparing for military action. And Sudan is making war games, military exercise and maneuvering. Finished the war game Nile Eagle 1 and also the Nile Eagle 2, preparing to execute the orders when it comes from Al-Sisi. Egypt is going to blow up the dam. Egypt is planning to seize Ben Shenkul and take back to Sudan this territory on which the dam is built will be a Sudanese land as it was. Egypt also are planning to attack any military aims in Ethiopia, whatever in Addis Ababa or in any territory will be attacked. Not only this, but also Egypt will help Kenya to destroy the dam which Ethiopia built on the border between Ethiopia and Kenya, as well as helping Djibouti and Somalia and Eritrea. So Ethiopia will be dismantled to a few territories like Oromo, Amhara, Afra, Tigray. There will be no state called Ethiopia anymore. We wouldn't wish to reach such a military clash between a neighboring country, but the stubbornness of Ethiopia and the bad intentions to use the water as a pressuring card to achieve political achievements and to get the political weight from Egypt to Ethiopia. Using the drinking water as a pressuring card is not an ethical approach, is not a lawful approach, and is not legitimate approach. So we will wait and see what will happen in the next days. Thank you very much for having you with me, and have a very pleasant day.